Good evening, everyone. My name is John Yordy, and I'm here with Jacob Jinks, discussing on our podcast movies, the podcast Seen It All. First, we're going to go over a little bit about ourselves in terms of what we like as movies, our favorite genres, and then we're going to break into our featured film for this week's discussion, The Substance. Jacob, take it away. What are some of your favorite movies, your favorite genres? What do you like?
Well, Yordy, I think I love thrillers. The Gift, me, with whatever his name is, Jason Bateman. I think he's the GOAT. I like thrillers. I kind of like 80s movies for the most part. What about you, man?
Yeah, I'm right there with you on thrillers. Prisoners, oh my goodness, come on. But I'm 100% a horror movie guy. It's kind of how this first episode came to be. When choosing movies and looking at them, I'm always dragging Jacob into things like Weapons and those kinds of movies. Growing up, I was terrified of The Thing, but now I love that movie so much. Just to preface a little bit more, though, this podcast is oriented towards just being a couple of guys discussing films, something for the common film viewer to have a basis to go watch and enjoy films. Nothing ever has to be high society in film watching. There's no critiques or anything getting into the methods of cinematography. It's about who views them and who enjoys them and how they do it. So we're taking it from us to be two people viewing this. So you can go watch these movies if you'd like as well. Breaking into this movie, The Substance, though, once again, getting into a little bit of the horror genre. Welcome, my dog, Winston. The Substance was definitely an interesting movie to start off with. Rated 7.2 stars on IMDb. Definitely up there in terms of what we might review in the future, but it was interesting. There was a lot of substance to the substance. And hopefully, I don't know, we're not going to maintain spoiler alerts or anything. We're going to discuss this movie.
Yeah.
But likely we're going to be talking about what you might see in the movie itself, but then what the plot really meant.
Yeah.
And so I'll let Jacob kind of talk about his feelings for the plot at first, and I'll interject as it comes.
I don't know. Overall, the movie was good. It had my attention throughout the entire time.
Oh, it had my attention.
For sure. No boobies will be rated in this iteration of this podcast. But overall, it was a really good plot. I thought it had definitely something to keep you on the edge of your seat because obviously you see Margaret Qualley, or sorry if I butcher that name, but you see obviously the juggle of youth and old, and so you're wondering how this is gonna blow up in her face, obviously because it being a thriller. But the end just absolutely blows. It was the most absurd endings I've ever seen in film, and there has been some questionable movies I've seen. So.
Yeah, this movie, in terms of our rating scale, which we're going on the basis of the Monkey by Stephen King.
Yeah, 3 out of 4.
Which was a 3 out of 4 star. It's definitely greater than a 3 out of 4 star, but the absurdity of the ending was just something that I feel like that's what got audiences almost. You got to watch it once. You got to see it. It was absolutely insane. We discussed too, though. It's weird we've seen a movie like that and how Weapons ended once in a year. Similarities once in a year was pretty shocking. But yeah, that plot, the old age versus youth, that constant battle between Elizabeth and Sue, definitely, I mean, that's the moral of the story. That was the theme that was going on. And I think that they portrayed it well with kind of how you'd see in the old age, the light of everyone struggling with new technology, the development of everything in life, and then how the youthful Sue is kind of capturing that sexy glow and pushing herself beyond her limits as well to maintain that image, and the difficulty of that while the image of the older woman is fading. It's definitely a movie that suggests the themes of that kind of struggle, especially for women. I'm sure for men as well, but I think that was the highlight of the film with the female director as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Jacob, besides that, though, there are some interesting points in the cinematography. It was just the juxtaposition of age and youth, but also just some great scenes, captures colors going on, kind of popping. How did you feel about how it actually looked as a movie?
Obviously, this movie, to me at least, was more gory than I thought it was going to be. They were not scared to show, needles of her re-sewing up her old body. They were not scared to show, obviously, needles being injected, which I felt like if you were squeamish in this movie, I would not recommend this movie.
We'll give a squeamish. We'll rate every movie with a squeamish warning, and this one's definitely.
Yeah, and like the actors were good. First off, I don't know how much they paid Dennis Quaid to be in this movie, but he got some money to be in this movie for sure. But like the cinematography was good. It kept you engaged. It kept you kind of alive in the story. But like, I just can't get over the ending just being so out of left field that it was just like, wow, it kind of left you in the manner of like, wow, they could have went several different ways with that plot ending at least.
Yeah. Jacob caught on to a little bit of how the plot was going more than I did, so I'll give him the award for the film guesser for this movie. But still, that ending was absolutely insane. That was our cat, Bianca, by the way. If that was picked up on the microphone. But yeah, I think they just did a wonderful job too. I think one thing you pointed out, Jacob, that was pretty cool was that, with the theme of age and youth, the different components, the cars, the scenery had youthful, futuristic, but also the cars were really old in some scenes. I think it was an interesting world that they developed subtly with how those ages play out for the two characters involved. And this is where I would get into the film a little bit more, but we don't want to spoil anything. But there were 5,500 gallons of blood used in this film, which, to put in perspective, that's like 5,500 gallons of milk.
Good comparison.
Yeah. Just in case you needed a little comparison there. And so that in itself, learning a little bit, reading about it, just blows me away. But once again, it blows you away with how the ending portrays out. This was our first initial kind of episode talking about the film. We're likely to make this more habitual as we go on and be more locked in with the films, have more intense commentary involved. But this was just a little sneak peek at what we have to develop and grow from. And I'd like to think that at the end of the day, we'd give each one our rating. Especially follow us on Letterboxd. We'll be rating our movies there as well. But Jacob, how did you actually, if you're sitting down, you're with your wife, perhaps, maybe not with your wife on this, but would you watch this movie again? What would you rate it out of 5 or 10?
Firstly, I'm not sure if my wife would sit down through the entire movie with me, especially after the let's just say
we don't have
sheer scenes in that movie.
Jeez,
sure.
They're very sheer.
But out of 5, I don't know, 2.5, 3.
Yeah,
like it kept my attention, but like the ending was just like, man, they could have went so many different areas to that. But like, I get like in this day and age, you're trying to make an ending that's like memorable, or I guess, I mean, it had to be good enough to where I'm still talking about it being one of the most, out there endings in a movie that I've seen. The movie, I'd probably say 2.5, 3. That's probably what I'm going to put it on Letterboxd. What about you?
Yeah, I agree, especially with that scale. With I think my wife, cream of chicken, as we'd call her. We had talked about that before on the podcast. I don't think it'd be a movie she'd even enjoy, but I don't know if I'd be sitting with her watching with it. But I gotta agree, it's got that memorable moments. and it can capture you. Like we've watched this movie about a month ago, and we're still talking about it, and that means something for a movie. But it's not one that, now that I remember that ending, maybe I'll show somebody a clip, but I wouldn't go and seek and watch this movie again just out of the admiration of cinematography and story. It was great. It was good, but I think there are more movies that we'll be watching that have more to offer. So I'm
sure.
once again, I'm in that 3.5 range. Um, yeah, that's Jacob and I's take on The Substance. Jacob, do you have any final thoughts?
Not that I know of, but thank y'all for joining in, and tune in for the next episode.